All right, Shalom, Shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Ukakadas. I want to give double honor to my elder apostle, my elder bishop, the great millstone, who will well and teaching us the truth 100% securely. And I'd like to give a salutation to the man out there on the highways and byways pushing the truth throughout the four corners of the earth. And also I'd like to give a salutation to the Akim and Aqua who are listening and studying to show thyself approved. This is Brother Bayan from the Tulsa, Oklahoma Hebrew Israelite Camp, coming back to you with another quick lesson. And this is just a quick lesson, which is basically going to be more exposure of Esau Edom, the so-called white man, all right, who is the wicked that the Bible speaks of. And, you know, as Elder Malcolm was pretty much saying, this is more shameful spewing on Esau Edom glory, okay? And there's a lot of information, more and more information is coming out of how the wicked is being revealed, right, whom the Lord shall consume with the spirit of his mouth, okay? And that's by the mouth of the prophet, all right? The prophet that Yahweh Bashim Yahushua put out on the corners of the highways and byways every single day in, day out, week in and week out, okay? So, you know, this is just a quick video that I wanted to play with Elder Malcolm was showing how this lady was talking about a man that shot his own daughter. Like it. All right? And he received no crime for it. Okay? And this should be a telltale sign why the so-called Negroes, Latino, and Native Americans should regard America, aka Babylon the Great, as a place that is not your rest. Okay? We're not meant to thrive here. We're sent here for our punishment. All right? And so, just judging by the two different cases, we got a man who shot his daughter in the chest. He got off no charges, right? And then you have Carmelo Anthony, who stabbed a so-called white man in the chest, and he received 35 years. Huge difference. And that's pretty much to show you, and that's the message, right? That's the message, and that's the message from Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. This is not our rest, and they're gonna blatantly tell you that you're not welcome here. All right, they constantly say go back to Africa, you know, even though they the ones who stole the apple of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua's eye. Okay, they the reason why we're over here in the first place. But you know, that's just another lesson. Okay, so let's go ahead and play this video, man, because this is more reason why you should not trust your enemy, which is none other than Esau Edom, so-called white man, starting with them, okay? And then you have the other heathen nation that joined in with our #1 enemy, okay? Moab, right? With who there's another, the Chinese man, so-called Chinese, who got off on killing, which that was premeditated murder, and he received no crime. Okay, so without further ado, let's go ahead and play this. Okay, hold on, Salakia, let me start it over real quick.
Proverbs 29 and 2, and it reads, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice, but when the wicked beareth rule, the people mourn, and the whole world is mourning.
And that's a beautiful scripture right there, Proverbs 29 and 2, because that tells you, and it gives a good balance, and it shows you who's in authority, okay? Just like the Elder Malcolm that just read that scripture. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn, okay? So, you know, and just by paying attention, there's nobody mourning about the rulership that we have right here in America, aka Babylon the Great, okay? Which shows you that the wicked is bear rule, okay? And there's none other than Esau Edom, the so-called white man, who the wicked that the Bible speak of, man. So let's continue.
Mourning. The whole world is mourning, and Esau Edom loves to use projection for defense. This is projection. We're just going to hold it on the screen for a moment as I search up these other two videos, and then I'll read that. So we're going to look at Miss Blue 37 here. And short videos of her talking about the injustices of so-called white men, and what they do and how they project their murderous pedophilia, grape, family annihilation. You know, they project it with false claims, pseudoscience, per capita, things like that. The 13%, which is way more than 13, that's a lie within itself. That's propaganda. All right.
And that matter of fact, Elder Malcolm was just explaining how they project. Okay, that brings us right to the. Let's go get that Psalm real quick before we let Elder Malcolm cook some more. Let's go get that real quick. Bear with me for a minute. Let's get that Psalm 73. And we can start at verse 3. Psalm 73 and verse 3, and it says, "For I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." Okay, and so you can't thrive in a wicked place unless you're wicked yourself. If you're a righteous individual, you're not going to be able to thrive. Okay, and that's just point blank period. You watch the celebrities and all of that. Okay, watch the celebrities and how they pretty much had to do, you know, all type of manner of sacrifices. You know, the information is out there. Okay, it's out there, right? So that's why when you read this scripture, you can kind of see what Asaph was talking about. You know, he said, "I was envious at the foolish when I saw the prosperity of the wicked." Okay, they seem to not have no type of punishment, and you're seeing this to this day, right? We're reading on in verse 4, and it said, "For there is no band in their death, but their strength is firm." Right? As of right now, they have a firm grasp, but due to the prophecies of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, you're seeing that they're losing that narrative. You know, they're losing their kingdom. Okay, and that's what these devils are going to be mad about. Okay, but the point right here is in verse 5, which is the point which is pretty much the precept that should have been reading, what we've been reading all week long, last week, and so on and so forth, right? Because it said, "They are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men." All right, you see the example where this devil killed his own daughter, and he received no crime for it. Okay, and that's the point. So when a white man, so-called white man, and so-called black commit the same crime, we know the so-called black man gonna get the book thrown at him. All right. Matter of fact, there was another Edomite who recently stabbed an individual, and he got off. Okay, so there's all type of different cases showing you that the wicked is bearing rule. And it's also showing you that the so-called Negroes, Latino, and Native Americans, all right, who are indeed the biblical Hebrew Israelite, this is not your rest, okay? This is not your home. You're not meant to be comfortable here. That's why the laws are stacked against you, all right? The laws of slavery is still in existence, right? It really says you're no longer a slave until you commit a crime. Once you commit a crime, you go right back to being 3/5 of a human being. Okay, that's in the laws here in America, aka Babylon the Great. All right, so let's continue.
And it turns out that all the damage that's being done is actually being done by them. So without any further ado, his widow's not weeping, not lamenting over them, right here and right now.
This wasn't a disingenuous question. He had already taken that man's name, his daughter's name, and he would have found out the situation at hand. However, what you're seeking to do is find a way to justify that man point blank fucking shooting his daughter in the goddamn chest and killing her. This wasn't a disingenuous.
All right, and I actually did a little bit of research on the situation, and you saw that this case actually happened last year, but it's as of recent. He actually went on a jury. Okay, let's get it real quick. He actually went on a jury. I just looked it up. And you saw the AI overview, right? This says the most widely reported incident of a man shooting his daughter in Texas involved the tragic death of Lucy Harrison, a 23-year-old British woman visiting her father in Proper, Texas, north of Dallas, on January 10, 2025. Key details of the case include the incident. Her father, Chris Harrison, fatally shot her in the chest with a 9mm handgun in his bedroom. The shooting happened just half an hour before she was due to leave for the airport to return to the UK. The incident occurred following a heated argument over conservative politics, including Donald Trump and gun ownership, during which police noted the father had been drinking. Okay, so there's a lot of cases on that, and then right here it says including the incident over Donald Trump, and that's another thing. That's another prophecy. Okay, now let's get that real quick, and we'll come back to this, right? So what we read so far is that there is a conflict between a man shall have a man foe shall be day of his own household. That's their precept, and that's the beautiful thing right there. So this is Matthew chapter 10, and we'll start at verse 34. And this is the words of Yahweh Shah, whom the world knew called Jesus Christ. He said this. He said these are the things that are going to happen. He said, think not, right? Think not that I come to send peace on earth. I came not to send peace, but a sword. Okay? A sword is an instrument that's meant for war. It's an instrument that's meant to strike division. All right? As you read on, and it says, for I come to set a man at variance against his father, the daughter against her mother, and the daughter-in-law against her mother-in-law. A man's foes shall be they of his own household. Okay? And so that's what that argument showed, that his daughter was not in agreement with, Donald Trump. All right? So they was at odds with one another. And the scriptures pretty much said that the scripture says that a kingdom divided against itself shall not stand. And that's how you know America, aka Babylon the Great, is on the brink of destruction. Okay? All right, and so let's read on. And it says, the father's defense. Mr. Harris claimed the shooting was an accident, stating that his daughter had asked to see his home defense weapon and that it just went off while he was showing it to her. All right. Legal outcome in Texas: a grand jury in Collin County declined to indict Chris Harrison on manslaughter charges, resulting in no criminal charge being filed in the U.S. Okay. And it says, U.S. inquest because the victim was a British national. A coroner's court in the UK investigated the death in early 2026 and ruled it an unlawful killing due to gross negligence, and the coroner determined the father's action was reckless as the gun was pointed at his daughter's chest. Okay, so you see what happened, right? So yeah, so this is why you shouldn't trust your enemy. If they would do this to their own, then how much more you, Jake? You so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, and then they get away with it. All right. If the laws would protect them here in America, then why should we trust these devils? Okay. Let's get this. Ecclesiastica, aka Sirach, chapter 14, and verse 5, and they read, "He that is evil to himself, to whom will he be good?" Okay? If he's able to do his own daughter, his own children, then whom will he be good? Jake? You got a lot of Jakes out here that like the so-called white man and want to be buddy up with him, and they don't realize that these devils will take you out. They're looking to take you out, okay? And so if he was able to do his own child like that, how much more you? That's why the scripture says this in Sirach, Ecclesiastica, aka Sirach, chapter 12, and verse 10, it says, never trust thine enemy, but like as iron rusted, so is his wickedness, all right? This man is so wicked that he'll kill his own daughter, okay? He'll kill his own daughter. And he said, though he humble himself and go crouching, yet take good heed and beware of him, and thou shalt be unto him as if thou have wiped the looking glass, and thou shalt know that his rust hath not been altogether wiped away. Set him not by thee, lest he hath overthrown thee. He standeth up in thy place, neither let him sit at thy right hand, lest he seek to take thy seat. And thou at the last remember my word, and be pricked therewith. Who will pity a charmer that is bitten with a serpent, or any such that's come now a wild beast? So one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him, and is in his sin, who will pity? Okay? So ain't nobody gonna pity you when you trust these devils and you be buddy with them, right? When you see this information out here, the wicked is being revealed. So at this point, there's no excuse, you know, and this is why the scripture say who will pity, because all the information is out, the wicked is being revealed, okay? The wicked have been revealed. So the scripture is telling you who will pity. At this point, who will pity you when you get caught up and you be buddy with these devils, and then next thing you know, you hanging from the tree. Strange fruit, right? Verse 14, so one that goeth to a sinner and is defiled with him and his sin, who will pity? For a while he would abide with thee, but if thou begin to fall, he would not tarry. An enemy speaks sweetly with his lip. Okay, remember what the lady was talking about. The reason why that Edomite asked that question, why he shoot his daughter, and she basically called him out. She revealed him, saying that the only reason why you asked that is because you're trying to justify him shooting his own daughter. And that's the big issue. And that's why that's them speaking sweetly with their lip. They do that all the time. They want to cover themselves. You know, they like to remain in the dark. Right? And it says, but in his heart he imagined how to throw thee into a pit. He will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. Okay? So that's how these devils operate, man. So you got to be aware of them. All right? So let me get one more scripture, which is we'd end it off with 2 Thessalonians. Because they being revealed, and there's no excuse at this time, man. The wicked is being revealed. All right, 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. And they read, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall come, except there coming and falling away first. And that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition. The man of sin is being revealed as the son of perdition. Their own people is calling them out, okay? Their own people is calling them out, all right? And even the scriptures been calling them out. Who opposes and exalt himself above all that is called Yahweh, for that is worship. So he asked Yahweh, sitting in the temple of Yahweh, showing himself that he is Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, okay? He changed the images in all the churches. Even when a movie, he changed himself and make himself as a image of light, a pure. You know, they call themselves white. Okay, and that's the wicked that's being revealed. All right. So, you know, that's pretty much it, man. It's just a quick lesson. Lord willing, it's edifying. With that, let me give all praise and honor to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Ukakadash. I want to give double honor to my elder apostles, my elder bishops, the great millstone, who rule well and teaching us the truth, 100% securely. Shalom, shalom, Kwam Yasharala, shalom.